in our security architecture? Can peace be negotiated with armed criminals, and at what cost? You know, the Katsina State Government is facing a storm of criticisms over plans to release 70 suspected bandits as part of a so-called community-driven peace deal. Civil society groups, regional blocs, traditional leaders, and victims' communities say the move rewards violence, undermines justice, and risks exporting insecurity across state lines. But the state government insists it's a pragmatic step, pointing to the release of over 1,000 abducted persons and drawing parallels with prisoner exchanges during war. Joining me this hour is Dr. Sani Shinkafi. He's Executive Director of Patriots for the Advancement of Peace and Social Development, former Chairman of the Zamfara State Committee on Prosecution of Armed Banditry-related Offenses. He's a man who has seen this crisis from the legal, political, and community sides, and we're hoping to get some answers. Dr. Shinkafi, thank you for joining us on Beyond the Headlines. Let's get back to that conversation right after this break, especially as we go through what Katsina calls a peace deal, but what critics call a dangerous move. Stay with us, everyone. Attention today is turned to Katsina State, where the state government has now approved the release of 70 suspected bandits as part of what it calls a peace deal with armed groups. Recall that there's a surge in bandit attacks in that part of the country. There's been over 1,500 civilians killed between 2021 and 2025. Let's bring in Dr. Sani Shinkafi, Executive Director, Patriots for the Advancement of Peace and Social Development, and former Chairman, the Zamfara State Committee on Prosecution of Armed Banditry-related Offenses. Thank you so much for joining us on the program this evening. Katsina says this is a peace deal, but critics are calling it a very dangerous move. From your experience dealing directly with banditry-related prosecutions in Zamfara, where should we draw the line between peace building and rewarding criminality?
Thank you for having me. Good evening.
Good evening.
With bandit is a highly controversial strategy, and involving peace deal with an armed bandit dialogue is a cash for gun, or healers and animal feeds for fees. So it is a executive recklessness and scandalous. It has a lot of implication, because these bandits are not sincere, they are not honest. No matter peace agreement you entered with the bandit, he will reach that agreement and he will betray you. So it has a lot of negative consequences. The negative consequences, that you are rewarding criminality. And also, you are increasing the vulnerability of the victims. And this bandit will now use the peace dialogue as another way to regroup and to have a break, and also continue with their criminality. So in a nutshell, you are empowering criminals. You are rewarding criminality. And also it is a serious failure on the part of the military or commitment of the government to provide security in line with the Section 14, Subsection 2 of the Nigerian Constitution. So it has a lot of negative consequences and implications. Well, many governors have been using it as an avenue. Many governors have been using it as an avenue, as even a quantified to be siphoned and diverting public funds in the name of peace deal with armed bandit. So this bandit, the government should go after them. There should be a total military actions against this armed bandit. This bandit has been terrorizing people, killing people, kidnapping for ransom for over 1.5 decades. So, and this reconciliation is a safe haven for armed bandit. When you reconcile with them, they will continue their criminality. You have rewarded a criminal, you have empowered a criminal. So it has a lot of negative consequences. The only short-term benefit, there will be a fuse on the hostility. The bandit will now have a break, a force, the attacks. They will stop attacking rural communities. They will have access to their farmland. They will go to farm. They will do their farming activities. But it is a serious failure on the part of the government.
I hear you, Dr. Shinkafi, and correct me if I'm wrong.
So if there's going to be, if there's going to be a peace deal with this armed bandit, there should be a total disarmament.
All right.
And also there should be a de-radicalization and also rehabilitation and reintegration. But still the victims, the rural communities, have been offended by the authorities. It's a serious failure on the part of the government.
My understanding is that you are an APC chieftain, and it baffles me that this school of thought doesn't quite sit well with some APC governors, especially in Katsina State, where government is saying these are repentant bandits and they are pointing to hostage releases as proof of good faith. In practical terms, how do you verify repentance? What do you consider the minimum conditions? Is it disarmament? Is it prosecution or rehabilitation? What conditions must be met before anyone accused of mass violence can walk free?
Let me make a clarification. It is not in doubt that an APC card-carrying member and also one of the chieftain of APC in my community in Zamfara, also in Nigeria at large. But that will not make me shy me away from saying the truth or say my opinion as a Nigerian, because Nigerian constitution has given me a right, constitutional right of expression to express my view on national issues. So also this is a constructive engagement. So what I'm saying, there should be a total de-radicalization. When you are talking of disarmament, de-radicalization, and rehabilitation, all these bandit groups will be dismantled by the military forces. And they should surrender their arms and ammunition, not for them to surrender some token guns for cash. So this is the reality about it. We're talking of national security. We're not talking of partisan politics. So the governors should sit up. To me, it's an executive recklessness, it's scandalous, and also executive rascality. Because I have seen no reason why a governor will be making peace with the bandit. Because let me tell you, it has happened in Zamfara State. I was part of the committee for finding lasting solution to armed banditry in Zamfara State in 2019 with me and the former Inspector General of Police. So the governor initiated a peace deal, the current Minister of State for Defense. And also the bandit had been placing series of demands, which is even against the terms and reference given to us. And the governor of Sokoto said have entered into a peace deal with Bello Turich and other armed bandit kingpins. It fell woefully. Governor of Katsina State, Aminu Bello Masari, entered peace deal with armed bandit. It has failed woefully, including Matole and many others. Even now, the present governor of Kaduna State, Obasani, have entered into a deal with armed bandit. In Birnungwar axis in southern Kaduna, what is happening today? It is very disheartening and worrisome. People are being kidnapped, killed on daily basis.
Dr. Shinkafi, it sounds like you're saying that there is no time in recent history where any form of negotiation or peace deal with bandits have worked, including in Zamfara under Bello Matawalle and the current Kaduna State Governor, right?
The peace deal of Bello Matawalle is the worst peace deal in the history of Nigeria, in the history of Northwest region. Because this bandit, after collecting vehicles, animal peace, and all sorts of legies from the state government, at the end of the day, they go back to their nefarious activities. So I see no reason why government should use the taxpayers' money instead of to divide this money to give a logistic support to military and other security agencies to fight these criminals. Stand still. But this money are being wasted in lobbying, consulting, negotiating with this criminal and bandit. It is now saying like it is just some expert, security expert and observers. I seen it like a way of rewarding a criminal and make it a safe haven. Then and now it will turn to a criminal enterprise.
You wonder though why it has been difficult for state governments like Katsina to have learned from lessons from states like Zamfara that you have highlighted. For instance, the state government is now comparing this to prisoner exchanges during wars, including Boko Haram negotiations. Critics like yourself have mentioned that it's not that Nigeria is not at war with a recognized army. That these criminals, I mean, these are criminals and they are terrorists. What do you make of that comparison?
You see, armed bandit and Boko Haram terrorists. There is a lot of disparity in these criminal groups. You see, armed bandit started from cattle rustling, metamorphosed to kidnapping for ransom. You understand, killings, rapes, other kinds of criminalities. But Boko Haram, they have an ideology they are trying to promote. The meaning of Boko Haram, that Western education is prohibited. But what ideology armed bandits are promoting? What they are promoting, they have criminalized it and turned to a criminal enterprise. So that is a disparity. And also, Boko Haram has some allegiance or collaboration with some foreign terrorists, ISWAP, ISIS. But these armed bandits are criminals. Some of these armed bandits are indigenous. Some of them were born and brought up in their localities, in our local government, like in Shinkapi now. Bello Turuju was born and brought up in Chida in Pake district. Halilu Sububu was born and brought up in Sububu. Many of them. All of them are indigenous. Most 80% to 85% are indigenous of the states. But this Boko Haram has some foreign elements and collaborators. So these are the disparity. So these are the problem.
I hear you.
And some of the banditry activity has some political undertone. Now it is electionary period. Some politicians are using it as a yardstick to gain popularity against the sitting governors. So these are some of the implications.
We understand that Dr. Shinkafi, we understand that politicians are also under pressure to keep the illusion of peace in a pre-election year. That's perhaps why they, really want to negotiate with these bandits and have their people released. But security experts argue that this kind of negotiations only work after the state has asserted some form of dominance, not while communities remain under attack. In your honest assessment, in Katsina, is negotiating, would you say the state is negotiating from a position of strength or from pressure to show results?
Yeah, you see, the state government is not negotiating on the part of the strength, because before the governor of the state, he said that he would never negotiate with bandits. But because of insincerity of these governors, the governor go through the back door and direct the local government chairman to enter into peace dialogue with this armed bandit. So who is pulling who? So it has established a mistrust among the rural communities or among the citizens. When a governor of a state make a public statement that he will never, ever negotiate with armed bandit, he formed a Katsina security watchdog, and also he bought some APC, armored personnel carrier vehicle, and other operational vehicles to this security network and security agencies. Yet the governor went through the back door to negotiate with armed bandits. It is disheartening. It's also, he's not deceiving anybody, but he's deceiving himself and not members of the public. The governor make a public statement and stand in a public forum that he will never ever negotiate with bandits. But who is fooling who now? So he's talking on the fact of weakness, because there is a lot of opposition against him. The former Director General of DSS is also using security as a yardstick to unseat the governor, and the former SSG, also who was also part of the previous administration of Aminu Bello Masari, now an APC Chieftain, want to contest for governor. All these forces are talking on the part of they are using security as a also weapon to upset the governor. And the governor has a lot of weaknesses on such angle. You understand? You see, the issue of Katsina State, Zamfara State, Sokoto State, even Kebbi State is very serious, complex issue because of the vulnerability of the border, porosity of the border. That is an easier access for smuggling of smaller and light arms into the land border. And that is, you know, Katsina State is an overspilling or overspreading of banditry from Zamfara that the seed germinated in Katsina State. So these are some of the problems.
All right.
The government should do everything humanly possible to collaborate with security agencies. The Minister of Defense, C.G. Musa, is highly committed, and he has said it. Any governor who is negotiating with the bandit is a bandit sympathizer. He has said it when he was a chief of defense staff. And he still maintained that governors should stop negotiating with bandits because it's a serious failure on the part of the federal government. And Mr. President must sit up as a commander-in-chief armed forces at the portfolio of Nigeria to see how he can collaborate with the foreign country to get a military engagement, diplomatic engagement, how he can fight this issue of insecurity once and for all. And also, there should be a check and balances on how this money are being spent annually, because some of the people who are being entrusted with the responsibility of taking charge of these funds are supporting this money for personal enrichment.
Dr. Shinkafi, you, as an APC chieftain, your party controls both Katsina and the federal government. Does this policy risk sending a dangerous political message that violence gets attention and concessions faster than lawful civic engagement?
Yeah, you see, why should we be rewarding criminals? Why should we be rewarding criminals? You understand? So it means that the government have now legalized criminality for having giving an amnesty or making a peace dialogue or cash for guns. So I am really an APC member, I have said earlier, but it will not make me shy me away from saying the truth. The Mr. President and the governor should sit up and fight this criminal holistically, because this is one of the stumbling block, even on the Mr. President election, most especially the Northwest. Northwest delegate during the party primaries gave overwhelming support and vote to Mr. President during the party primaries. He got the highest numbers of votes from the Northwest delegate. And also he got the highest number of votes in the main election, about 2.8 million votes in all the 6 geopolitical zones. So this is what Mr. President should do, everything, find a way of rewarding the Northwest. Nelson should not be a safe haven for criminals and bandits.
It sounds like the way governors have painted it is that these negotiations are like the last resort, haven't done all that they can. Because of our time, perhaps finally, Dr. Shinkafi, if you were advising Katsina today, what would a responsible, lawful, and sustainable exit strategy from banditry actually look like? One that protects lives without eroding justice or state authority?
Yeah, if any armed bandit agreed to surrender or to repent, they should also surrender all their arms and ammunition and dismantle their camps. That is their daba. They should dismantle their camps. There should be a serious military dismantling of their camps. And they should surrender all the arms and ammunition in their position. And the government should do also everything humanly possible to see how they can be rehabilitated and reintegrated into society. And also, government should do a town hall meeting and beg the victims of this armed bandit, people who are being kidnapped, people who are being killed, people who are being terrorized, and find a way also of compensating the victims. Because it is not a one-way approach. You have to do the two-way approach. Because you cannot kill my dad or my wife or my son, being a repentant armed bandit. I see you on the street walking, and I will leave you to go scot-free. It's not possible.
What is compensation? What is compensation outside justice based on what you have just said? Can you compensate someone whose parents have been killed by giving them money without seeing, the perpetrator do some jail time for the crime they've committed?
Yeah, you see, according to the Islamic injection, there is payment for compensation for blood money. So if the government feel that it can pay compensation for per head is about more than 200 or 300 million per head. So, wow. But keep that aside. It has a lot of financial implication because of the quantum of the money. But what you can compensate people who are being denied going to banks, who are being denied going to people, they have burned down shops, they have burned schools, they have burned houses. Government can find a way how to now collect a data. How many houses were burned? How many schools were burned? How many mosques were burned? How many cattle were roasted? Then government should find a way of having a soft landing for the victims of this criminality. If not, I'm telling you, I foresee danger.
All right.
I foresee danger.
Dr. Shinkafi, that's our time. Dr. Sani Shinkafi is Executive Director of Patriots for the Advancement of Peace and Social Development. Thank you so much for talking to us on Beyond the Headlines.
Okay, thank you for having me. Thank you. Bye-bye.
That's our show today, everyone. Remember, you can watch it again at midnight and 6 a.m. tomorrow. I am Nifemi Oguntoye.